All right, guys. Well, here we are. It is 1 in the morning, a little bit later than I would have wanted. I was trying to do content earlier because I want to do two videos. I want to do this origin story right now, and then I want to do a wasting talent video. Um, Again, I'm in a good headspace. I do have some. What crisis? What about the crisis? There's always a crisis, right? What's wrong with you, huh? Huh? Toothache? Family members sick? You're a pussy. You suck at fucking managing emotions, really? That's weird. I thought that was something I did really well. Anyway, every time I do a video, I crap. Wait, and I never do that when I'm not recording. It's not weird. But I'm not, like, ever standing, like, staring at myself. Someone commented, like, have you ever noticed he's always looking at himself? I do that because I'm trying to personalize the video. It's like making eye contact. Look, gentlemen, let me tell you something. I'll tell you a trick I learned when I was young, and it used to get me laid by dudes. Yo, Tommy, let's make eye contact, homeboy. You want to fuck? Oh, all right. Eye contact, right? I noticed in junior high, a lot of guys would go up to girls and they, yo, I'm gonna spit some game with this broad right now. Maybe, possibly afterwards we're gonna fucking scam. You know what I mean? Remember I used to call kissing scamming when we were kids? And they go up to them and they'd put their fucking head down. And I'm like, no. You gotta make eye contact because it can be very intimidating. I always make eye contact like it is a point. I always look someone in the eyes. When I talk to them, when I shake a man's hand, I fucking squeeze it, like almost like I'm like low-key confrontational. Like, yeah, I squeezed it hard. What? Say something, I'll fucking headbutt you. What's up, fool? I've been to prison. And when I meet women, I do the little, oh, it's a pleasure. Lovely to meet you, man. No, I don't talk like that. But I always make eye contact. And that's why I do it in the videos. Who cares? Hey. Hopefully he'll do the eye contact monologue. I really dig it when he talks about shit like that. All right, so I got this. Did I already explain the rash? I got a rash today. That's the thing that I have going on. I don't know what it's from. I used to get jock itch bad when I was in prison, and it's kind of like that, but it's like debilitating. It really sucks. Like, I feel like calling someone. I'll be like, hey, bro. You want to talk about this problem I got? Oh, it's a rash. Yeah, again. Yeah. All right, yeah, call me. Yeah, dude. No, yeah. Call me when your brother's out of the hospital. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you with my life. Yeah, all right, cool. What was the Venmo handle? Oh, I got you. All right. Anyway, so that's, today was busy because I had to do the rewrites for the Florida movie. That thing is actually happening. I don't know. I've tried to do this monologue or this introduction to this video like 5 times, so I don't know what I've said and what I haven't. Today, basically, I spent a lot of time hanging out with Nico. Karina was, I love her to death, but she was a Barbara Streisand bitch today. She was just a grouch. I'm like, it's all right. You're mothering my child. You got that. And, yeah. So, feeling very good now that I'm at Risk last night. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon. I'm going to be on a show with Nick Stahl, I think next week or a couple weeks from now. Things are good right now. And, I got a sponsorship. You can't even say sponsorship and you want it. I fucked up saying it again. I got a sponsorship from a company called Planet Vapor. Actually, it's Planet Vape. PlanetVapeShop.com is what the website is. And if you go there and you put in the promo code Leone, you get 15% off. If you vape, I highly implore you to shop at this company. I do have incentives. I got a sponsorship thing with the guy, but I told him that I'd help grow his company. He's also helping me fund a lot of stuff for my own brand. We're doing long-term business together, and I'm very loyal to people that look out for me. I'm trying to look out for him. he really does have the best selection of vapes that I've seen. I vape. I'm trying to stop smoking and go back to vaping right now. But in the future, we're definitely coming up with promo codes for each tier. So you get like a much bigger discount for each, like $100 tier, I get the biggest, $20 tier, I get a significant one, $10 tier. Every tier will get one. It'll just be a different, amount depending on what tier you are. But planetvapeshop.com. And I'm excited about that. I'm going to be mentioning it before every video. I'll be posting about it a lot. We'll be giving away a lot of vape shit. It's just, and that also might be, it'll definitely help with gifts, which I've always had a problem with, because he has shipping capabilities. Like, he mass ships things. So, like, he's helping me get organized, get my website going, just, like, helping with things that I've been fucking up with for way too long just because of my own disorganization and just being a bitch. Yo, I'm a bitch? Yeah, all right. I play volleyball. No, I Googled about it. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Next Thursday, I go back to USC Medical Center. And we're going to look at this. I might get plastic surgery to fix my septum, and I won't sound nasally anymore, which would be, that would be rad. James, I saw a comment, man. Australia, I believe. I don't even remember why, but I owe you a book. And if you can send, not DMs, because I'm not checking those, but I got a guy named Todd, of all fucking names. I got this dude Todd that's helping me out, Joe as well, but Todd is like the organizational, like, wizard guy. Tell you what, man, I'll send you a book, a blotter, and an ibuprofen plastic bottle. I am fucking sorry that it's taken me so long to do that. I don't remember I think I just told you I'd give you one. I don't think I'm positive you didn't buy it, but I want you to know that I'm aware of it. Came to my attention. I signed your book. I have your book in my car. No idea why I never shipped it. But I'm making a run to the post office tomorrow and I'll send it. Joe has been chipping away at gifts. I think he's got all the sponsors done. Now he's going through the 20. Do you remember Palabra Cash? Joe's looking through all that shit, trying to figure it out. I've been trying for a long time. I still don't want to give that away. I think I'm just going to make each tier get, like, every time there's a new thing, you get that once, and then, I don't know. We'll figure it out somehow. Documentary, almost here. It's all funded now, which is fucking fantastic. It's like, I'm really proud of it. Like, the amount of money I raised for that film, I got everybody together myself. Like, I'm fucking stoked. I'm proud of that. I think it's something to be proud of. It's hard to get a fucking documentary done, like a good one. And I tried and I couldn't do it by myself, but now I got a badass director. So I'm stoked on that. And, GoPro. Fuck, I still have not done. I just haven't charged my GoPro. I need to do that. I have a lot of content. I probably have like 15, 20 fucking videos on there. Just me filming random shit. And there's a sex files on there. I need to do that. All right. I'm just gonna get into the video. This was like how I used to do monologues, with like the intent of warming up. I got a good story for you. The Origin series. I don't know how many more videos I can do, but like, I think I know what to do. All right, let's get into the story. I'm sorry. Where we had left off last time, things had gotten very interesting. This guy, Sal, we're not with Sal anymore. It's hard when it's not real names. Like, I get them all mixed up. Sal's nothing to do with this. I had gone down to Orange County. I went with the girl, Stacy. She was like some epic blowjobber. It was like you felt like she was wearing some, like, pantsuit. Like, she played like fucking trombone in the symphony, but she was just sucking dudes' dicks. Sorry, Stacy. Stacy's on Patreon too. She never comments, but she's on. Comment, Stacy. I think people I want to show you a picture, maybe even have an interview with her. She's still like a good friend of mine. But anyway, so, I'd gone down there and we go to her sponsor's house in Laguna Beach. It ends up being Allison. Allison's a girl that I butt fucked. I mean, for real though. And that was it. And I go there, get beat up. I end up going to Samantha's house. I get caught beating off with Crisco. I didn't really get beat off, or I didn't really get caught, but what had happened is I left panties on the counter, dropped one on the floor, put a couple in my pocket. They found them. I was busted, weirded them out. And basically the next day, I had to go back down to Santa Barbara, but I went with this girl, Melissa, who I met at Samantha's. Girl didn't really like me at first, but then when she found out that I wrote Wasting Talent, that was her boyfriend who had passed away's favorite book, and then we ended up fucking. I was like, this feels weird. I mean, I'm sure he'd like this. I'm just saying. It's a weird circumstance. I don't care. Let's just keep doing it. That was immature. Now, a reoccurring theme in my life, in case you haven't noticed, is that I tend to go back to save women. I don't know. It's probably just my codependency. A lot of times it's women that I don't love. I don't know why I've done that so many times in my life. Mike Virgin went back to save Megan. The times that those guys that I got to do the shit for Spike TV, the military guys, and they raped my friend, go back, save the day. Multiple times, I've tried to save a woman. This particular time, so now we're in 2016, and remember, I just got out of the psych ward. I'm still using at that time, although I don't think it's consistent heroin. If I remember correctly, it's some heroin, then I get on Suboxone, and I'm just kind of doing that 3-card Monte. I'm like, let's see which day I'm going to be strung out. You can't guess. Oh, it's that one. Oh my God, I have AIDS now. Fuck. I don't know. So anyway, I tell Melissa, because we cannot get a hold of Stacy. Now, this is a major fucking problem because I went down there with her, not even knowing that I was going into some crystal meth fucking haven. There were like raccoons, spinning meth pipes. I was like, what the fuck? They're like, dude, they got meth smoke exposure and they started mutating into tweaker raccoons. I'm like, all right. So I do shit like that too. I mutate. What's up? Turn into a fucking Crisco panty sniffing bitch. Sorry, my rash is so bad. It's like distracting me. So anyway, I had figured out that the guys, those 2 biker guys, one of them was Allison's ex-boyfriend from before. She would tell me stories how she would hold women down in the kitchen so that her boyfriend could rape them. And honest to God, that made me really turned off by that. I mean, if you're turned on by that, you should probably just go out and kill somebody at random because you have some sort of itch that normal people won't be able to scratch. You're like, I feel powerful now. Thanks, Ryan. Comment. You're right, man. I appreciate you. I'm calling from a masked VPN right now. Or commenting from Alright, Jesus Christ. I am not on right now. But we're this far into it, we're going to keep going. I just got to pick the energy up a little bit. So I decide that because, it's a simple equation. It's like one of those old, word math problems that you get in high school. It's like if rapist X is with some girl that you've had butt sex plus a girl named Stacy minus cell phone equals potential of her getting raped. Of course, that's what I was thinking. And you got to remember, I'm on crystal methamphetamine. I got fucking stolen crystal methamphetamine, dog. It's fucking disgusting, queer. And so I was already extra paranoid. So in my mind, I'm assuming that this is what's happening. So at that time, you got to remember. So Melissa is taking me back down to Orange County so that we can go check on Stacy. Now I already got beat up. I'm worried about going down there. I don't go with any of my friends. I'm just like, I have no weapons. I'm just trying to go down there to save the day. Now remember, Melissa was not from Santa Barbara. She's from Thousand Oaks. So that morning, we had sex at my friend's house, like 10 in the morning. It was the most perverted shit ever. It was, I mean, not perverted, but it was just, I don't know, it was weird. It was like grimy. And like, you got to realize too that this girl was not the type. Total normie, fitness model, turned fitness instructor, a couple years older than me. But like, I was in shock that it went down, right? Because I was just a dirtbag. Like, I was one of those dirtbags where like, girls were like, yeah, his personality's decent, but that guy fucking stinks. And I heard that he beats off, like, more than normal. Yeah, be so much poopy daddy. So we're headed down to Orange County. Right now, this girl is clingy. It was like instantly like, do you need anything? You need a pack of Newport 100s? And I'm a piece of shit, so I'm like, yeah, babe, that sounds fire. Okay, Eskimo kisses. And she gave me Eskimo kisses, I swear. It's like the second day I knew her. It's like, oh, I'm nauseated right now. So she'd go get me my cigarettes, whatever. Cool thing about that girl is for some reason, like, her parents had a gift card thing at, like, a gas station. So anything at, like, Arco, or actually Shell, I could get free stuff. So she's, like, would bring me, like, every time we stopped at a gas station, she'd give me, like, a bag of hygiene shit. I'm like, hey, what's that supposed to mean? She's like, nothing. I just thought you want Axe and, like, maybe some, deodorant and some other stuff. I was like, okay, it's not because I've had bad hygiene, is it? She's like, no. I was like, what's this jock itch cream? She's like, I don't know. I guessed that you might want it. So she was kind of politely trying to tell me that I was a fucking bum. So we head down to Orange County, we're going down to Laguna Beach. Still radio silence from Stacy. It's been a couple days. So Thousand Oaks is in between Orange County and Santa Barbara. It's also in between LA and Santa Barbara. And she lived there. She's like, hey, I got to stop by my place. Maybe we can just spend the night at my house. I'm like, all right, cool. And we'll go there the next day. Now, I remember for some reason that I was doing Suboxone. So I'm pretty sure I was doing heroin before that, but I was doing Suboxone that day, or I transitioned. I don't really remember, but I know I was doing Suboxone. Anyway, this girl had presented herself as a normie, right? But very interesting things start happening with her that don't add up. Let me present some evidence to the court. So we end up going to get food, I think at Del Taco or something. For some reason, it didn't have a drive-through, so I sat in the car. She runs in. She's like, here, I'll just go get it. I'll be right back. So she goes in, and I'm just sitting in her car, and I look in the cup holder, and there's a bottle cap with a heroin cotton in it. I mean, I'm a junkie. I, can spot that kind of shit instantly. So when she comes back, instead of just, being passive-aggressive about it, I go, hey, we're going to have to talk, Melissa. She's like, yeah. Can we Eskimo kiss first? Fiercely. I was like, yeah, okay. I said, I found this in your drink holder. Can you explain to me just what in the heck this is? It looks like heroin in a cotton, like a used heroin cotton in a bottle cap. I said, that's exactly what that is, Melissa. Don't fucking play coy with me. The hell is this? You told me you were a normie. She's like, I was hanging out with a Hispanic guy. He said his name was Mandy. No, I don't know. Manuel was the guy's name. And she said that it was just one of her friends, and she was mad that he had left it in her car. So that struck me as odd, because she presented herself as a normie. The more that I got to know her, the more it didn't seem that way. I mean, she had sex with me very, quickly, and definitely seemed way out of my league, but I don't know, it just happened. And then that. So then, We end up getting to Thousand Oaks. We're getting gas in Thousand Oaks. About to go. She lives in a place called Newbury Park. We're at a gas station, and she like parks to get the gas, and she just kind of sits there in her car, and she's texting with somebody. And I'm like not trying to pay attention, but I'm just naturally jealous, and I'm on meth. So I look over, and she's like sending hearts and shit to somebody. Then I see her get out of that text message and do the same thing to somebody else. And I've come across women like this in my past that are sociopathic in the sense that they have like 3 or 4 boyfriends at the same time, and they just play everybody because they want attention. It's the weirdest shit ever. I've met a few girls like that, like the girl in Albuquerque was like that, and it's always kind of tripped me out. Alright, so anyway. Sorry. The crypto market. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna block that dude. No, he's like one of my best friends. But every night he seems, right around this time, he has a freak out. He's probably pacing on some like building top. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about maybe not living anymore. So what? Sorry, that's not funny. So we end up going to her place. Really nice house, right? Her car, she's not driving like the nicest car. I don't remember what it was. It's like an older Toyota or something like that. But her condo is badass. It's like a townhouse condo. Kind of was like that girl, what the fuck? The girl that dated the dude that I know. It was almost like Samantha's. Looked like that, right? So we go to this condo. It's 2 stories. We get in there, and I start looking around. She's like, yeah, just make yourself at home. You know, I just want to change, get some clothes, whatever, da-da-da-da. All right. So I'm like looking around. I'm looking at all these photos over the wall. And it's some dude, some big old muscular dude with her. And I'm like, oh, that must be her boyfriend that died of the heroin overdose. That's weird. He looks like a weightlifter. It's probably some weightlifter that got addicted to painkillers. So maybe he was a football player. I'm like coming up with all these like scenarios in my mind. I'm high on meth still. It's like I didn't do any more, but it's like my brain is still fucking spinning from it, right? All of a sudden, it occurs to me that she was Samantha's roommate down in Laguna Beach. I started thinking about that for a second. I'm like, wait a second. All right, so heroin, cap with heroin caught in the car. She lives with Samantha down in Laguna Beach, but I'm at a condo in Thousand Oaks. Pictures of a buff dude everywhere with her. Start kind of looking around, and I'm like seeing guy stuff. There's like a, you know, like a little like preacher bench. That's where you do like curls, you know. Not something that a girl would have. It's definitely something like some weightlifter would have. And it kind of just hits me instantly. I'm like, oh my God. We're at her boyfriend's place right now. This is what that is. She brought me into the goddamn lion's den. And this is not the first time I've been in a situation like that, right? And I'm twacked out, so I'm just like, oh, this is, I should probably jerk off just to clear my head. Fuck it. I'm scared. So, I kind of play it cool, right? But like, I know this, like, I just know what time it is. And to be honest, at that time, I was still going through the breakup with Casey. I was still heartbroken. I had rebounded with Haley, but she turned it out to be like she was too much for me even. Like, I was like, you know what? You're out of control. I'm cool. So I broke up with her. So now I was in this like stage where I was like on rebound. I used to always tell my friends, rebound revolution. And it'd be like this phase that I'd always go through after a breakup where like, I'd just be like sleeping around and not really care what happens and, you know, shit like that. Random butt sex with X-Files fans, that kind of shit. But usually when I'm in a mode like that, I'll like find one that I like more than the rest. And they usually become my girlfriend. That's what happened with Karina. That's what happened with Casey. That's what happened with my ex-wife. You know, it was like, at that time, those were the ones that I just like, I was like, okay, I want to be in a relationship with this person. And I'm so glad that I stuck it out with Karina, because she ended up being like a fucking amazing, amazing mother. And she's my best friend. And she's a nympho like me, which is cool. So I know that she's got a boyfriend. And she was like the one where in my mind I was like, okay, this might be the one. She's into fitness, she's into nutrition, she's a normie, or so she said. But these little signs started like adding up, and I'm like, okay, she's a girl that plays a bunch of dudes at the same time. Whatever. She's not my girlfriend, I don't care. And I go and I'm sitting on this couch, and I'm just kind of like thinking about this stuff. And she runs out of some room or something, and she's like, oh my God, my fucking husband was out of town, and he's coming back right now. I was like, oh, you're married. Oh. Okay. She's like, look, I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to go hang out in my car for probably like 8 or 9 hours until I can sneak out, and then I'll drive you back down to my other place. I was like, this checks out, right? So I literally like had to like sneak out. I'm all twacked out. Sunlight, I'm like a vampire. Sun rays are making me like shrivel up and shit. And I go in her hot, it's like a Toyota or something. It's like an older one. I'm like cooking in this car, hating life. I'm pissed the fuck off that this is happening. I'm like, God, how did I get stuck here? I was just in Santa Barbara. Eventually, I don't know what time it was, like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Like I was there all day. I'm like sitting there just sweating profusely, probably coming down, coming off meth, like just coming down. I feel like shit. And I get over it. Like I'm calling her. It's going straight to voicemail. So I end up calling Jeff. And I'm like, hey man, I'm stuck in Thousand Oaks right now, which is only like an hour from Santa Barbara. Can you please come swoop me? And he did. So he comes and he gets me and brings me back to Santa Barbara. I stay at his house for a night. The next day, I go to my parents and I ask them if they can put me in a sober living, right? Still haven't gotten a hold of Stacy at this point, and I hadn't talked to Melissa again. It was like that one morning, and then I go to some condo that belongs to her husband, and I like had to go hide in the car. I was like gonna sleep there unless Jeff got me. So I didn't have anywhere to go because Jeff wouldn't let me stay at his place. He's like, look, I can't have you stay here long term. I knew my parents would pay for a sober living. And like by that point, honestly, I was just fucking tired. I was just tired. I just wanted to go live I just wanted a bed. I was sick of like not having structure, routine, whatever. I had my car, but I wanted to go live somewhere. So my parents ended up putting me in a sober living called New House. Now I'm probably there for like 2 days. Pissed dirty for them. They're like, if it happens again, you're on the street, man. I'm like, if it happens again, I'm going to call my parents and they'll put me somewhere else. They're like, oh, you're an entitled little snobby bitch. That's chill. So while I'm there, they put me in a dormitory, right? Everybody there just got out of prison. Like everybody there is living out of a trash bag. They just got out of prison or they just got out of jail or whatever. As soon as I got there, I was over it because they give you chores and they're like all happy about it. They're like, Ryan, we pulled your name out of a hat. Guess what? Kitchen duty for a week, man. 4 hours of dishes every day. Like that. Instantly, I was like, fuck. Right? I mean, I had it good before that. So anyway, around this time, I had already been kind of seeing the stripper girl. She lived in Santa Maria, and she had been married to a guy that I went to high school with. Now, the guy I went to high school with, he used to be like a homie. Everybody really liked this guy. And what had happened is he went to Preston's house, the guy that you guys met. He came on that one time and asked Preston for a fake ID. Now, Preston is a hacker. He's a beast with shit like that. He always has been. You know, we were into that kind of shit together when we were young, but he just like got better and more advanced than me. He makes this guy a fake ID. They use it once for like the dude's doing check fraud or whatever. As soon as it's done, Preston burns it in a campfire. That's the end of it. The next day, Preston's house gets raided by goddamn Secret Service asking where the fake ID equipment is. And you know, no fucking shocker here, but that guy had been busted. He told on Preston. Became this whole thing. Now, when that happened, and we got paperwork on him and everything, we found out he was a snitch. Even confidential informants, you know, there's ways to figure that shit out, right? And Preston had ways, and we got paperwork on him, even though he was a CI. We got the goddamn CI agreement. So after that point, he was married to this girl. Her name was... her name was Kelly, right? That's not her real name, but that's what we're calling her. So Kelly was a stripper in Santa Barbara. And again, a girl that was out of my league for a long, long time. But I got out of prison, and the quality of women that I was associating with after that, after I did the 5 years, from that point on, there's just a higher class of women, because I was no longer some scrawny, acne-riddled kid. I was just a short, buff dude with a little cock. And she lived an hour away. So she lived in this town called Santa Maria. I would drive there every single day. She had 2 kids. CPS was trying to take her kids, so she was living in like a halfway house with her children to try to get custody of them back. She was very cool. I hit on her on Facebook, and I don't know, one thing led to another. I brought her a signed copy of my book, picked her up, we went to an AA meeting, and in the book, I had written to Kelly, "I'm really hoping that you kiss me after reading this," and I signed my name. I give it to her, I was like, "Look, a guy brought you a book." She's like, "Oh, that's so cool," and she opened it. She's just like, "Oh my God." She kissed me, and then it was on, and then we were kind of dating past that point. This was a few weeks before all the stuff had gone down in Orange County, right? So, like I said, you know, she was one of about 3 or 4 girls. Stacy was the 4th. She was one of like 3, well now Melissa, like 5 girls that I had this kind of like casual thing going with. She did not know that I was in full-blown addiction. She didn't know that I was shooting Suboxone, shooting heroin when I could get it, and drinking every day. And she was in the program. She had like over a year and a half clean. I was lying to her about it. I felt bad, but I still wanted to have sex, so I wasn't going to tell her the truth or nothing. And she was a really solid person, right? And because her husband, who she was divorced to at that point, had snitched out Preston, that homeboy code didn't really matter. I was like, whatever, you're a snitch. You're going to be treated as such. So I didn't care anymore. So I'm at this sober living, and I would commute every day. You know, you're allowed to go out all day. I'd go, it's dish time. I'd be like, fuck, I'd do my dishes. And then I would drive out to go see her, and I would get drunk, and then I'd hit it, and then I'd drive home. I'd be like scratching because I'd have a rash. Okay, so 3 or 4 days past the time that I had to leave Melissa's house, and I had not heard from her either. So now I'm not hearing anything from Melissa. Stacy, radio silence since that day, and she got beat up by this guy, a guy that potentially could rape her. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, the best way to go down there. I don't want to go alone. That's one thing I don't want to do. So check this out. This is very important for the story. I may have told you guys this story before, so I'll do it a little quicker. But you'd have to really know my stuff to make this connection, but it's relevant to this story. So at that time, I'm driving every day to go see Kelly. She lived in Santa Maria, which is pretty hood, right? I was 30 years old at that time. This takes place in 2015, 2016, 31 years old. When I was 20. This is right after the Mike Virgin thing. I was living in Santa Barbara, and I was partying a lot. Like, I was going out to clubs, I was going to bars, I was doing lots of cocaine, just drinking, and I was doing heroin. Drinking, not alcoholically at that point, just going out and like getting drunk, whatever. Getting into mayhem in the nightlife scene of Santa Barbara. One night, and this sucks too, because the guy that this story is about raped Karina. And let's just say, let's not speak on that. But it happened, and he's a fucking piece of shit, and I have not been able to find him for years. He's petrified of me. I think he's more scared of my friends. I have some tough friends that like want to kill him and like tell him that. They text me, like, I want to kill you. He's like, oh. But I used to be friends with him, right? And let's call him Ricky. Ricky was never a good-looking guy. He was hairy. He had these like weird-ass like fucking Egyptian moles and shit all over him. He looked like some fucking really poorly decorated rug. Sounds very prejudiced. That's not what I meant. But he was very hairy. And he had like this curly, like rapist composite sketch look. He had this like greasy curly hair, kind of chubby. He looked like a rapist. And he was always very creepy with women. I remember one time on New Year's, I was hanging out with this girl, Tasha. She passed out drunk. She was wearing a skirt. He lifted it up and was like touching her butthole. And me and this other dude beat him up, over it. It was like we were like all in the back of some Denali and pulled his ass out of there and beat him up. And this is the thing. The guy has hands on him. He's like black belt in jiu-jitsu. But I was with another guy and we just beat the fucking brakes off him. We made up after that point, because it was just you'd have to see it, but it was very creepy. We made up, and his little sister was driving drunk. They're coming back from the Chumash casino. Talk about that casino a lot. There's this very windy road that leads from the casino back down to Santa Barbara, and it's called the San Marcos Pass. It's very dangerous. It's one of the most dangerous roads in Santa Barbara County. A lot of people die on it every year. This guy, Ricky's little sister, was drunk. She was with her best friend and her mom. The mom was like in her 40s. They were all so drunk that they made Ricky's little sister drive because she was the least drunk out of all of them. And she ended up crashing and killing everybody in the car, including the mom and her best friend. Her parents bailed her out. I think she was a juvenile, but still, they bailed her out or, somehow they, got her released, whatever the case was. So, Ricky was one of those guys. Everybody knows people like this. He's one of those guys that all he ever wants to do is be around girls. That's it. And he raped my girl, the one I'm with right now. And I believe her. She's not the kind of person that would say that if it wasn't true. She's, whatever flaws Karina has, one thing she's not a liar. Her word's gold to me. If she tells me something, it's true, 99.9% of the time. And even if she does lie, she admits it. I'm the same way. If I ever lie to her, I tell her about it quickly because I feel bad. We have a good, healthy relationship. But anyway, this one night I'm hanging out with him. His little sister had just killed somebody the night before. Killed her best friend's mom and her best friend. So he was all depressed about it. He's like, oh, we need to get girls, man. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look like, the before picture, I'm proactive. I don't know. I call some bitches, but they're in their mid-70s. He's like, I'll fuck anything, I'm like, all right. So, I don't know, it's like one of those nights where we're just trying to get girls to hang out. I get a call from a random girl. Never heard of this person, it was like the first time that I ever heard from her. And she's like, hey, is this Ryan Leone? I was like, yeah. Dorian said you're a coke dealer. I need coke. I hung up. I was like, what the fuck? Like, threw the phone down. I was like, God damn it. Dorian gave some girl my number and said that I'm a coke dealer. And Ricky's like, what does she look like? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't even know who this person is. So I call her back and say we can get it. So I end up calling her back and I go, hey, sorry I hung up on you. My friend Ricky that was with me grabbed my dick and I freaked out and just threw the phone at the ground. It'll never happen again. How much do you need? She's like an 8-ball would be fucking grand. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. She's like, how much? And back then I got 8 balls for like $80. I was like, yeah, $250. She's like, yeah, it sounds like a great bargain. I was like, yeah, it is. So she ends up giving me directions to her place. She lived on the Mesa. She lived by this little, she lived right next to the community college. She lived in this apartment. I get there and some girl opens the door. This little short redhead girl. It was like dyed red hair. Girl was probably like a 10, 9. High, 9. I mean, not that I rate women on a rating scale, but she was like a 9. And I was like, hi. Now, the main girl's name was Ariella, right? And I forget what the one with the dyed red hair was. But I like opened the door. I'm like, oh my God, you must be Ariella. I'm Ryan Leone. Don't mind the zits. They're fake. She's like, no, I'm so-and-so. Let's call her, Blair. It's an easy one for me to remember. She's like, I'm Blair. And she's like, this is Ariella. This is her place. Now, Ariella was like a 6 or 7. She wasn't great, but she was decent. Ricky is a cold 1, right? He's a fucking rug. He's a 1 rug. If that. He's a fucking rapist. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. It fucking makes me super mad even thinking about this fuck. So I end up calling my coke dealer. I get there, and like, both of these girls, like, you add a 6 with a 9, you have a fucking 15. It's way better than a 10. And I call my coke dealer. It's this guy named Augie. Now, Augie was in Vegas at the time, right? He's like, hey, dog, I'm in fucking Las Vegas right now, fool. I fucking love it here. There's Mexicans everywhere, dog. I gotta go, fool. Later. I was like, fuck, because that was my go-to. I had this other guy named Shadow. I called him. He was a Southsider. Hey, dog, I don't got nothing right now. I'm waiting to re-up, fool. But if you want to come over and party, I'm just with a bunch of dudes, fool. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Call you later. So I couldn't get it. My 2 connections, and I couldn't get it. But I'm still playing like I can, because like, I'm trying to strategize and turn the situation around so that it's to my benefit. A couple hours go by, I'm trying. We're hanging out with these girls. I don't know, nothing remarkable, just random girls, right? And I'm like, guys, it's probably going to be a couple more hours. They're like, fuck, I want to get fucked up. And I'm like, why don't we just go to the liquor store and get some booze? Okay, so we end up going to the liquor store and get some Captain Morgan's. We start drinking. And my friend Ricky, or not my friend, the fucking rapist piece of shit punk. You know what? His real name is fucking Matthias. Fuck him. His name is Matthias. You should know that. His name is fucking Matthias Sanchez. He's a rapist. And yes, I hope you fucking see this, you piece of shit, because you're going to get what you got coming. Not for me, though. I mean, allegedly. Everything I say in this video is not true. So, it's just for entertainment. But that's his name, Matthias. So we start drinking. He's not drinking because his little sister just killed someone the night before. Drunk driving. So he's all like shook up from it. And we get wasted. Right? Me and these 2 girls get wasted. We end up going to the beach. Because they live right by the beach. We're like right next to community college that's by the beach. And they're like super drunk. They're like, oh my God, I'm so fucking faded. Let's go skinny dipping. And they get butt naked. 2 of them. And I get butt naked and we run and we're skinny dipping in the ocean. You know, shit that you do in your early 20s, whatever. Done a lot of that. I mean, that happens a lot on a beach town, right? We end up going back to the apartment, and I like, what's up with that blow? I was like, I don't know, let's just keep drinking. I'm like pouring drinks for them. We're all clothed now at this point. And I go, ladies, why don't we play hide and go seek naked? Oh my God, that sounds fucking bomb. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, okay, you take off your clothes first. And now, look, guys, I'm not the best endowed guy ever. If you're on the $100 tier, you know, I mean, you know, I sling them all right for my size. I don't know. It's never really, like, been problematic. She's actually the only girl that's ever, like, really rubbed it in my face. You got a small dick. Like, you're just a whore. What about that? No, she does say that. It really hurts my feelings, actually. But that's neither here nor there. So I end up taking my clothes off because I've always been, I'm one of those guys. It's just a fact. Everybody that hangs out with me in person knows if you hang out with me, there's going to be nudity. I think it's funny. I streak. I walk around naked. I don't care. I just think it's funny. And I don't be like, who cares? Why should you be ashamed of your body? Especially after prison, being around that many dudes naked and you have the smallest dick. I was like the only white guy. These black dudes that had like 12-inch cocks. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. That's one stereotype that's fucking super true, and I'm jealous. Those dudes, a lot of black dudes are fucking packing. Then occasionally you see some like white midget with like a goatee, and he's just fucking packing gats, homeboy. No. Well, I mean, I was being halfway serious about that. So anyway, I get naked, right? My little ass dick. I don't even care. I'm like, whatever. And like, everyone knows it's true. Girls, I think, sometimes don't really care if you have a small dick. Confidence can make up for it. And I always had like faux confidence because I'm an insecure fuck. So I get naked, and so do they. And we're just standing there. It was very weird. I had like athlete's foot. I was like, it's just don't look at my feet. Look at my dick. Back then I didn't shave, so it was just this huge fucking cotton candy looking bush. Now, Matthias, the bitch that he is, wouldn't take his fucking clothes off. He gets down to his whitey tighties. I'm like, really, dude? He's like, what? I feel kind of weird. I was like, bitch. So they start hiding, right? They start hiding. Ready or not, here we come. Waddling around naked. My little dick is like not even swinging. It's just stuck there like a fucking cannon on wheels. Just like a little knob. I kept finding him. And then I'd hide. Matthias would be like, hey bro, let's hide in the closet. I'm like, I'm not hiding in a closet with you when I'm naked and you're in fucking underwear, bro. I'm cool. It's like, I'm the only sober one here. I was like, yeah, you think that's going to talk me into getting in a fucking closet with you naked, weirdo? He's like, whoa. So it gets kind of boring. So I say, all right, girls, let's raise the stakes a bit. Next time we find you, we get a reward. They're like, oh, okay. I just like knew what it was, right? And of course, they hide in the bed. I elbowed the rapist. I didn't know he was a rapist, and I knew that he creeped out on this girl, and we beat him up for it. And the dude can fight, but like, fuck. If you're watching this, would love to fight you and videotape it and donate the money to charity. I would love that. Imagine like how much anger you have towards someone that hurt someone you love like that. It's, you know, and I don't mean to bring the video dark. It's a real thing, you know. So I'm like, hey man, look, girls are naked in the bed. He looks at me, it's like, and this is a pervert, like but he was being weird. He was like all being shy and shit. So I go up to the bed, lift the covers, they're butt naked. They're like, you found me. And I just crawl on top of the redhead, Kelly, and I stick it in. I'm literally fucking her. And Matthias gets on top of Ariella, and he starts kissing her, and like in the middle of it, she like pushes him off. She's like, we're gonna like switch at some point, right? And I'm like, yeah, doing my thing, and like out of nowhere, he's just like, I'm weirded out. I'm gonna be real. I was like, then go sit on the couch, dude. Drive me home when I'm done, bitch. He's like, okay. So I end up having a wild threesome with these girls. I forget what happened, but somehow I end up alone with Ariella at some point after the threesome. It probably went on for like an hour and a half. Like, no bullshit. It was fucking wild. And everything you can imagine went down. I was like doing director's commentary. I was like, yeah, and then, I don't know. Why don't you turn around? Hey, let me see that butthole. Oh, great. Somehow later that night, after that happened, I'm in the closet, not with Matthias. He left. He like went home. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stay here. Because the girl was like, yeah, just stay here. Fuck it. All right, cool. So, and it was her apartment. I think that's maybe the girl with the dyed hair left or something. I don't remember. But what I do know is that I was left alone with Ariella. We were in her closet and we boned like 4 times. And I just passed out, right? I wake up the next day and I have my pants around my ankles. That happens to me all the time with Karina. We'll like have sex and I'm so tired that I'll just pass out and then I won't remember. She'll be like, we fucked this morning. I'm like, what, really? But I'll wake up just with my pants around my ankles, like curled up in a ball. Cause I'm one of those people that just passes out. I've done it doing videos. I wake up the next day, it's like still recording. Someone asked me the other day if I had videos like that. I do. So what? And so I wake up with my pants off. And at first I didn't know where I was. I thought I was dead. I look up, I saw P code. I was like, fuck. I don't know what that means, but... Oh, wait, I'm in a closet. Oh, I'm not dead. But I hear voices. I hear, hey, your fucking pussy is fucking firme, dog. And I'm like, Southsiders? Yeah, hey, suck my boy's dick. Hey, let's bukkake that shit, fool. Oh. Hey, this feels like a fucking horse's asshole, to be honest with you. It's fucking fire. And I look, and she's getting gangbanged by his outsiders. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm just gonna stay here. So I was in a weird situation, and eventually I had to go out, and the Southsiders were like, hey, what the fuck? And I ended up meeting, so these guys were from Lompoc. Lompoc is the place that I went and did federal prison time at. And the acronym for Lompoc, it is like the ghettoest little shithole prison town in Santa Barbara County. Lompoc, people say it stands for lots of mean people on Crystal. Because everybody in that town's a fucking meth head. But I end up meeting these guys, and one of the dudes' names was Paya. He was like the leader of them. Paya means like clown in Spanish. And anyway, make a long story short, I think you guys have heard this story, but she was getting gangbanged, which I'd never seen before, except on porn. And it was pretty gnarly, especially with like a bunch of uncircumcised Southsiders. Hey, fucking suck my fucking auntie dirty, you fucking slut. Oh, I fucking love, hey, to be completely honest with you, when I fuck you, I think about dudes, fool, and rival gangs. Yeah, enemies, dog. So I ended up meeting this guy named Paya. And he was a bad motherfucker. Tough, leader of the pack, the alpha for sure. A lot of times with Southsiders, like the leaders are like always the clean cut guys. Like he was the most clean cut out of them, but really big, really just a bad dude. So that was when I was 22 years old. Now I'd seen him again. I ran into Paya again when I was in Oklahoma City on a federal transfer. He was in the feds at the same time, and I happened to come across him. Now we're in 2016. The thing with Stacy had just happened. I'm, Stacy's down in Orange County. Melissa just kicked me out. I'm dating this girl, Kelly. Is that what we named her? Stripper girl. And I'm kind of living, and I'm at this sober living, whatever. So I'm still trying to come up with a game plan. Now, one thing, I mean, think about it. I'm friends with some like, I'm not a tough guy. I've never thought that. I always thought that I was crazy, like, you're probably like, you're always getting in fights. You're doing this. You're doing that. What about the sex ride? What about that, Ryan? Tell us about the sex ride. I'm not tough, but I'm crazy, and sometimes I think very irrationally. And I'm also, I'd say, very loyal and I care about people that I'm friends with. And I cared about Stacey, even though I looked at her as just like, kind of like a dick sucking accessory. Kind of like some shit like that is just like, oh, that's icing on the cake. That's how I felt. I couldn't take her seriously because she'd sucked off like everyone I know. She should have started trading cards with like stats. Oh, I sucked his dick, his dick, his dick. Check it out. Look at watch me fan it. Ew. So, I've been thinking about that, and I have some tough friends that I could call. A lot of my toughest friends are in other parts of the state. Blase is one of the most gangster dudes I know. Dirty, who on the $10 tier, I put that video up of him knocking that dude the fuck out. The guy was just covered in blood. That's some wild shit. People like that, right? And of course, with all the trouble I've been in, I have like a pretty large network of people like that. So I was friends with this guy named Travis, and he was a skinhead. He was from Ventura, right? Which is like the next town over. And I had talked to him about it, and I kind of explained the situation, because now we're about a week, maybe like 5 days from the last time that I'd established contact with Stacy, and I called this guy and told him that what the situation was. I was like, look, check it out. There's this girl. I got beat up by this biker dude. Oh, fuck that, homeboy. Fuck that. Fuck that. Were they a minority? I'm like, nah, bro, they were white bikers. So I bet they talk black though, huh? No, man, they're white biker hicks. They were black shoes. The color black? Yeah. Yup. I fucking knew it. All right. This is the plan, man. I gotta borrow my mom's minivan, unless you can give me a ride, but I'd rather take my mama's minivan, and we'll go down there and we will kick some motherfucking ass. I was like, do you have a gun? Come on, bro. Of course I got a gun. I was like, all right, cool. So that was like kind of what I was thinking. I didn't want to go there alone, even though I was originally planning on going down there with Melissa, right? So I'm at this sober living, right? And sometimes they do intakes in the middle of the night. If people are just getting out of prison, they parole, they show up. Fucking Paya shows up. I had not seen that guy since Oklahoma City. The guy that was gangbanging that chick, Ariella, that one time. And, I'd run into him at transit, and we were like, he's like, hey, dog, this fucking white boy's in the fucking closet. He fucking comes out, he sees me fucking bukaking, this fucking slut, dog. It was, hey, fool, I get bitches out there, fool. Bitches, fool. I'm like, God, every time you say that, you're like seizing up. I see Paya, I was like, hey, what's up, bro? The fucking Leone. He's like, hey, this is the fucking craziest fucking white boy. Because the last time he saw him, I got in a fight at the transit center. Remember when the motherfucker tried to check in with me? It wasn't even a fight. It was like we'd gone into the cell. We didn't fight, actually, but it was like, it was like a commotion there or whatever. And like, that's the last time I'd seen him. Anyway, I give him a pack of, I bless him with some cigarettes. I give him like some hygiene shit, all the stuff that Melissa had gotten me. And the next day, so it's the next morning, he came in the middle of the night. The next morning, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, hey, I got this situation down in LA, or down in Orange County, and I'm going to go down there with my homeboy, the skinhead dude. He's like, him and the skinhead were probably about the same size, right? Big guys. Like, if I'd gone down there with those two guys, I would not be worried at all. And the guy's like, yeah, dog, I'll fucking help you, but, You know, I can't miss curfew, fool. I just got out of prison. I got like fucking 15 kids, dog. If that's cool. I was like, yeah, we can leave early in the day. I was like, dude, I'm probably tripping because I was twacked out when I left there, but I need to make sure this girl's all right. I cannot live with myself if she gets raped or if something happens to her. It was just interesting that it was that guy from that house from that time. But anyway. So by this point, so we had planned, I think it was the day that he came, or like the day that we talked when he was smiling, I think was like maybe like a Thursday or like a Wednesday. And on Fridays and Saturdays, the curfew's later. So we had planned on going at the end of that week. Whatever day it was, we planned on going at the end of the week. And we were going to go down to Orange County, meet the skinhead dude halfway, pick him up. Remember, I had my X5 at the time. And I was going to bring Paya, skinhead, go down there, try to save this girl, at least see what's up. So I have peace of mind. So the stripper girl, Kelly, and this girl was super cool. She'd done prison. She did 4 years in prison. She was bi. So she's like, I'm always down for threesomes. And I don't get jealous. Because if you're like fucking a girl, I'll fuck her with you. And then I'll stab him with a shank. I was like, you're so cute. She got to a point with me right around this time, right after Paya came, where she's like, look, I want to be Facebook official. I was like, what do you mean? Facebook official that we're fucking? I'd say that's private information, babe. She's like, you know what I mean? I want to be your girl. I was like, ooh. Like, I was not feeling it, right? Like, I mean, she had 2 kids, which, I mean, I have nothing against women that have kids. But she had to live at that spot. It was complicated. I'd have to commute there. And I was like in rebound mode. And like, I don't know. I didn't want to for some reason. And she's like, why are you fucking other bitches? I was like, no. There's like 4 other ones at that time. She's like, okay. But eventually I'm going to be your girl. I was like, okay, cool. Cool. Now, right around that time is when I got kicked out of that sober living. And I moved in with Jeff. He wouldn't let me stay there the first time. He had taken me to the sober living, but I showed up at his doorstep with my bags because I had nowhere to go. And he let me stay. So that all, I'd gone to the sober living. I met up with Paya. We had a plan for the weekend to go down there with my skinhead friend. And it had been a while. I mean, by the time we were supposed to go there, it would have been like 9 or 10 days since I'd seen her. Something like that. A little over a week. So I'm at Jeff's. And I'm on the phone with the stripper girl. And again, it comes up. She's like, I want to be your girlfriend. I don't want to just be some fuck toy. Fuck you. I was like, all right. You're my girlfriend, but I just don't want to make it Facebook official. Not because I planned on cheating. I don't know. I just got out of a relationship and everybody would like talk shit because, I just jumped from relationship to relationship. So since she was living at that halfway house thing, she got weekend passes. Now, I didn't want to explain to her that I was trying to go down to Orange County to go save the blowjob queen. So she's like, she hits me up. We were supposed to go on a Friday, right? Down to Orange County. And she's like, okay, I have a pass on Saturday. Can I come spend the night at Jeff's house? That would be so sick. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I was planning on going down to Orange County on Friday. And then she was going to come spend Saturday with me at Jeff's house. So I'm at Jeff's house. Probably I think the night before we're going down to Orange County. It was like a Thursday. Some random, it was Thursday, or it might have even been Friday at that point. I don't remember. I just know we were supposed to go down there on the weekend, and then the following day I was going to see Kelly. I get a phone call at 2 a.m. It's Melissa. I have not seen her since that time that she told me that she had a husband and that he was on his way home and that I had to hide. And she's like, where are you? And I was like, oh, nice to hear from you. What the fuck happened to you the other day? She's like, I didn't know where you are right now. And I was like, I'm at Jeff's, you know, gave her the address or whatever. I think she'd already been there. Whatever the case was, she comes over. It's like 2 a.m. Now, I'm dating now that girl Kelly officially, or at least I told her. And like, I'm a lot of things, and I have cheated. I cheated on Jenny, and I cheated on Kate, and I cheated on my ex-wife. You are such a drug addict. Cheat on her. But I try not to cheat. You know, the older I get, the more I'm like, okay, you can like, you know, talking's one thing, but like actually doing stuff is a whole different thing. And I don't even do that to her. You know, I'm good to her. But Melissa, and I already knew, remember, I knew there was the heroin cap thing. There was her texting multiple guys, her being married. I already knew that she was some sort of weird, like, dick-hungry sociopath. Yeah, I have no feelings and I eat cock. I'm Melissa. Hey, what's your name? Shit like that, right? I don't know what the urgency is that she needs to see me or whatever. But she's like, you know, she shows up at his house in her little shitty car. I go out there wearing my pajamas, right? I'm sitting in the car with her. And she's like, I just brought you cigarettes and like, I just want to talk. We're sitting there and I'm like, look, there's something I need to tell you. She's like, yeah, what? She's being all flirty and shit. I already know what time it is. This is a booty call. I could tell. And I'm like, I have a girlfriend now. She's like, huh? I was like, yeah, I'm dating a stripper. She's like, she sounds like a bitch. I was like, what? I don't even know her. Why would you say that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just jealous. I'm like, all right. So I'm on Suboxone. I know that for sure that night. And I'm wearing these sweatpants and I end up getting a boner. Ferocious. This is not the first time that I've said this, or that I've done this, or that this has worked. But I get this fucking throbbing boner. And I'm one of those people where I'm definitely a grower, right? Like, you can't even tell I have a cock if I'm limp, and then it's just like, and it's like 5 inches or something. It's nothing crazy. But I get one of these painful boners, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. And I'm like pushing on it, trying to get it to like go down, and that's just feeling good. And I'm just like, I hate that. I'm such a pervert. Fuck. I look at her, I have a boner, and I've had it for like 15, 20 minutes. It won't go down. Do you care if I jerk off in your car? And she's like, no, go ahead. I was like, all right. I take my pants and I start beating off right there. I swear that this is on everything that's important to me. She looks at me and she's like, just like this. She goes, do you need help? I was like, fuck. Yes, I do. Come on. She's like, gives me a head, right? Finishes. And I sit back down. I'm like, so anyway, like I was saying, I have a girlfriend now. She's like, I'm like, what? What? And she's wearing these like short shorts. And she moves it a little to the side and puts my hand on her vagina. And then I'm like, oh, okay, you want me to get you off? I literally was like playing with it and like not even looking. I was like yawning and shit. And she's like, ah. Make her come. Probably takes me like 3 or 4 minutes. Just rub her clit or whatever. Sorry if this is getting graphic. I felt so guilty. I felt so fucking guilty about it. she leaves, and now it's Friday, right? There's a reason I'm bringing all of this stuff up. The day that we're going to Orange County, so that was it. Like, she came over, gave me head, left. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, she's married, she's got like fucking 10 boyfriends. It's all one hundo. Friday comes along. I go to pick up Paya. Now, this dude just looks straight scary. He's just like a straight up gangbanger. What's up, dog? I'm ready to fucking participate, fool. Is that how you say? I don't know. My English ain't too good, fool, but I'm trying to fucking kill people, dog. Palabra, fool. All right, cool. Great attitude, man. You're in. Get in my car. We start heading down to Ventura to pick up the skinhead, and then we're going to go down there, right? Let's just say things are about to get super fucking wild. Stripper, Melissa, Stacy, Samantha, Allison, the bikers, all of it is about to come together in one grand fucking finale. Maybe not literally. I think there's probably a couple more Origins videos, and you probably forget where we're even at with the Henry storyline. But once we get back to that, and you've heard this whole thing, and that they like compliment each other, you're going to be like, damn, I can't believe that all came together like that. It is pretty crazy if you think about it, like all the backstories that like intersect at the point we're getting close to now. But yeah, we're headed down to Orange County to go see what's up with Stacy, and I'm with like two of the baddest motherfuckers I know. What could go wrong? I love you guys. I'm going to try to do Wasting Talent video now for the $10 tier. Maybe I'll get the GoPro stuff up too. Palabra.